During like quarantine, I definitely thought about becoming an ordained minister. Hey YouTube, I'm Leanne, and today I'm going to talk about and show you all how I will begin to implement positivity throughout my day. So why is positivity so important? It's really good to try to focus on happy things, especially during this time. It's so easy to be able to remember negative things and not necessarily the positive things. I've read a couple of articles that definitely say it's possible to rewire your brain on how you think of things and have a new perspective on life. It's like the concept of having the glass half empty or half full. So you're probably wondering, how did I even come up with this idea? I've been sitting on this for like a really long time, and I decided to run it by my therapist to see what she thought. Shout out to the homie, she's great, of the idea, and she said that it was great. So my homework assignment for this week was to basically get started with like the little things of my project, and as you can see, I definitely did. I have a couple of jars here that I will be using to implement the positivity throughout my day. As for me, I'm a visual learner and I have to have tangible things for the information to sink in. I was never the girl that could read a PDF and just retain the information. Like my eyes will just like literally glaze over and I'll be like, what did I just read? And then I have to like reread it like 5 times, still not understanding the concept. So I knew that having this type of information on my cell phone in my notes wasn't something that would be feasible for me because I wouldn't look at my notes. So that's how I also came up with the idea to have like physical papers that I could carry around with me if I'm ever feeling, down, or if I need like words of encouragement. I need the physical copy of everything that I use. I have to use my 5 senses. I have to like smell the book, hear the pages turn, see the words on the page, touch the text. I'm even eating the book. Literally, I'll have a book and I'll take a bite out of it, like, come on. So it's just like, it works for me, and I know there are others like that. So definitely talking to you. I'm also like pretty extra when it comes to like projects that I get assigned or projects that I want to do. Like I go like the whole 9 and make it super crafty and fun for myself to accomplish it. Like I was literally the girl in school that would carry the whole team on their back during group projects. Like it was nothing to me. That's just how I am. Like I like to give it all, give it my best shot, or like don't do it at all. It's like go hard or go home.
Let's go!
What type of things can you put inside this jar? I have a couple of ideas, and you could basically use whatever applies to you, but we're gonna go ahead and pick out the jar, some of the ideas that I have. Something that made you smile or laugh. So in your jar, you could put a memory that you had or something fairly current that's going on that you think like, oh my God, this is so funny, and if I look at it again, I know I'm gonna laugh. Like my oldest sister, Maika, she has like a running list on her notes of like funny things that we say, so she could definitely like look back on it and cheer herself up if she's ever feeling down or anything like that. So that's fun. Okay, so you could also incorporate short-term goals you want to achieve. So this is probably like weird, but during like quarantine, I definitely thought about becoming an ordained minister. Not for like anything in particular, but it's fairly cheap to do, and it looks like something cool to put on your resume. So when I do that, holla at your girl. I'll be officiating weddings. It'll be like, I don't know, $100, maybe a sliding scale if I like you or not. So keep that in mind. Let's go for the next one. You could also include something you're grateful for. So sometimes you have to remind yourself like, oh, I'm grateful for my family, or I'm grateful for having a home. But some of the little things that we fail to remember to be grateful for is like being able to wake up that day, or being able to go outside and get some fresh air. Like it's like so underrated, but it's like it's literally the little things that will help you get through on a day-to-day basis. Like those matter. All right, let's go to the next. Okay, so we also have long-term goals. You should include things in your short-term goals jar to help you accomplish your long-term goals if you need that extra incentive to help you get to your bigger picture. So that's something that you could also do as well. Then we have some body positivity / compliments to yourself. Sometimes we could really be like our like own worst critic. We always like to point out flaws on ourselves, like, oh my God, I have like this mole on my ear or something like that. But it's what makes you different, and you should be willing to accept that, take it in, love it, and move on. So being able to compliment yourself and say you're beautiful or you're awesome, you rock, things like that, it's something that will eventually sink in. And I'm not saying once you open the paper, it'll be like, yeah, I'm beautiful. You know, it's like, I'm beautiful, I'm beautiful. Like actually look at the words and internalize it. All right, so we're on to the next one, and it's nailed it moments. And sometimes you just gotta remind yourself that you're a force to be reckoned with. And again, little things like, yeah, I did stick up for myself with the lady at the grocery store, or yeah, I was able to graduate from school despite the obstacles that I had. So it's definitely something that can be very helpful. If you're also having difficulty coming up with the accomplishments that you have achieved, it's always good to talk to someone that you confide in, like family, friends, your therapist even, to help you come up with things that you could put in this jar. All right, our next one. Mantras. So sometimes people love their quotes, you know. I watched this show, Great British Bake Off, with my sisters. It's on Netflix. And there was one baker that he said something and it really resonated with me. And it applied to what he was doing, because I think he like either added an ingredient or didn't add the ingredient after he finished the whole product. But what he said was, what's done is done and cannot be undone. And it's like, that's for the baking world, but it applies in real life. Like, yeah, I made that mistake, can't go back. So we just move forward, acknowledge it and move forward. Last but not least, positive words to live by. So we all know that words are really powerful, and being able to remind yourself, like picking out of a jar and seeing the word happy, you're going to make sure that you're happy for the day. Or the word smart. You have to remind yourself that you are smart, you've done a lot. It may not be the traditional way, but you have accomplished something, and definitely that's a positive. Like, keep it up and just continue. So I'm thinking of getting this project off the ground in a couple of days, and I think picking from the jar on a weekly basis would be something that would work for me. I would probably carry around what I picked from the jar, keep it in my pocket or on my person, so that I could remind myself of whatever positivity that I pick throughout the jar. And yeah, just looking at it for a week straight could really help you retain and soak in that information. All right, so hopefully my method on how I want to incorporate positivity throughout my day, life, week, whatever it is, helps you and gives you some inspiration to do something that works for you, whether it's on your phone, a physical thing, or whatever it may be. And remember, you, yes you are smart, you're kind, and you're important. Remember to rate this video, comment some ideas you have, and subscribe for more content. Bye!